Welcome to the Anyone But Cam Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm your commissioner, Frankie. Sitting across from me is Cam. Cam, how's it going?
It's going pretty good. How about you?
I'm doing well. We have an invader in the room with us today.
Oh God, is Ivy here?
Well, maybe. Threw me a curveball there. All I know is that Alex is not here, thank goodness. But we see someone else seems to have stumbled in. You can introduce yourself.
Hey, I was able to somehow get on the podcast. They somehow let me on. I'm really excited to spew hot takes.
What is your name again, sir?
Who are you?
My name is Dylan. I am the future champion of the league, especially in my division. Easiest one in the league. Very excited to be on today. I have a lot to say.
Oh, yes, we know.
Alright.
Alrighty. I guess we'll just go right from there. So the draft was last night. Very exciting stuff. On this episode, we're going to go through a couple of different topics. We're going to start with current events, things that are going on, all the drama that seems to be inevitable in our league. And we're going to review each team's draft. We're going to go through week one matchups and maybe find some storylines if there's anything there.
Do our best.
And we'll have a very exciting mailbag segment as well. I'm looking forward to that one especially.
Glad people got their questions in on time.
Yeah. So we brought Dylan in here to talk about things that are happening. We have issues with leadership, issues with rules, issues with keepers.
Yes. So, I have a lot to say.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, we all know that I got screwed out of being able to keep Joe Mixon. But you know what? I can see other people being like, hey, it's a deadline. And I know I talk to other people I'm friends with on Twitter who are in my Twitter league, and they're like, yeah, in our leagues, it's after you declare keepers, you can't change. I'm like, okay, I get that. What I have a problem with is that I know that our league wasn't like, oh, we just think that should be the rule. It was, hey, we want those people to be able to fall to us, to be able to get those or we don't want Dylan Beal to change his keeper because it means that we won't get as good of a player at our draft slot. Which I know that's a fact because people told me this after the draft and were like, hey, this is what we did, and this was the reason that we did it.
Mm-hmm.
So they admitted to it. And you know what? I was like, and I read the Constitution. The Constitution, Section 2. If an owner brings forth an amendment to the Constitution, it is the duty of the commissioners to heed the request and treat it as a formal declaration. The commissioners are allowed to take a side on each issue, but are not allowed to push forward an agenda or use their powers as a means of intimidation, bargaining, or persuasion.
Absolutely. Whoever wrote that is really smart.
Great guy. Great commissioner. And then I went and looked at when I was told that I can't keep Joe Mixon. My first two questions were, why did the answer change? I got an answer. Justin hadn't been talked to yet. I get that. And then I asked, why can't we vote whether you can replace a keeper or if they're out or on IR before the draft? Why is this being voted on, i.e. being able to keep my draft pick or not? Another one isn't. Justin Moss, the co-commissioner of our league. Because this is the decision we reached. So I was like, I should talk to the commissioner, not go into the group chat and make a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
I texted him. I was like, here is your response. Here's the Constitution. Why was that your answer when the Constitution states any owner can bring forward an amendment and bring it to a vote? His response? Ask Frankie. And if I remember correctly, this was the 100th message you had sent me on that day. Well, I checked the tape. It was the third message I had sent on that Sunday.
I mean, it's somewhat close to 100, wouldn't you say?
It was the third message. The second question I asked. So I said that. And I said, well, I'm asking you because you're the one that responded. So I was asking the thought process.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I answered that way because I believe that was the answer we reached. Looks like I was in the wrong, which thank you for finally admitting that I was fucked and that you're in the wrong and don't know what you're doing. You have all you need to begin impeachment. And all I'm asking for is a hearing to get rid of Justin Moss, who represents the interest of people who will act in their self-interest and not for the integrity of the league, which was admitted to me by people in this league. He's mentioned in our argument on Sunday, he's like, well, now you know the process. I still don't know what the process is. for how to get something, to how to bring up an amendment. Because whenever I asked, it just got ignored.
Okay, well, to be fair, you ask a lot of questions. You know what I mean? It's like when these kind of stuff are brought up, it's like in the same conversation when you said like I want to vote on this, you also say things like Jake Logan for co-commissioner. So it's like, is that a formal declaration, or it's like what is and what isn't? So that's why I'm striving now to clarify that section with more detail.
That would be greatly appreciated.
I mean, I think I edited it earlier today, but anyways,
Okay.
you can keep going for
That'd
sure.
be great. That's basically all I have to say.
Mm-hmm.
I know I won't get the votes because it takes 2/3 majority, and enough people will say, hey, when Justin enforces his co-commissioner powers, we benefit. So I know it won't pass, so I won't even bother trying to impeach Justin.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to focus all my energy into kicking his ass in week 2, and then when I play him again, kicking his ass again that week, making sure he gets his perfect chance to try to reclaim his consolation bracket championship. Because there's no way in hell he's gonna reach the playoffs. And I'm very excited for the fantasy season. And that is what I have to say.
So Dylan, if I have this correct, after that long, well thought out argument of what you've been put through these past couple days, all it's really come down to is you're about to destroy Justin.
I
in
am
this upcoming
focusing
season.
every fiber of my fantasy season to optimizing my lineups for week 2 and whatever other week I play Justin Moss. I haven't looked it up because I didn't know where schedule was out until like 5 minutes ago.
We'll get to it.
Or about
We'll get
15
to
minutes
it.
ago, because I've been ranting for about 8 minutes now. So we should probably move on. But that's my Super Bowl. I could care less about making playoffs. I can care less about even winning 3 games. If I win 2 games and a third one in consolation bracket, beating Justin again, this season is a big old W.
If you had but 3 wins to give in this fantasy season, you would beat Justin all 3 times.
100%. So, see you week 2, bud. I hope you lose this week. And next week. The week after that. Love you.
Glad to see that right after the draft, the rivalries are already heating up nice and strong. You
Yeah.
a fan of that?
Yeah. I'm not a fan of this kind of rivalry.
This is more of a Steelers-Bengals and Steelers-Ravens thing. that has going
Absolutely,
on.
that's an astute comparison.
All right, so as a neutral party, mostly to all this drama that's been happening, my one request of the league and the commissioners specifically is just always make sure that you guys are on the same page with all the decisions that are made and be nice and clear with all rulings. And I think if we have that going on, everything will be good.
I agree. I've said it a couple of different times to a couple of different people, but I take a lot of responsibility for what's happened to Dylan and what's been happening in the beginning in my own. Just I don't know. I got to be better. I think that's what it comes down to. I got to be better, and I know that. And I can say sorry as many times as I want, but that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I can't change things.
You also got to be better with your actual fantasy team after that bad season last year, huh? All right, I think it's time we move on.
No comment. No comment. Alrighty, moving on. So after the night of the draft, right after the draft, we are having some issues with our waiver system. This is a result of one, moving over to Sleeper as opposed to ESPN, and 2, the new waiver system we're doing, and just our general lack of knowledge on how it actually like physically runs. Basically, I told everyone to just stop picking up people last night because what our waiver system is supposed to be set at is every day there isn't football being played. So like Wednesday, Thursday. Well, I guess not. Well, Thursday besides the Thursday night games. Friday, Saturday. You can place your bids, and then in the morning you see if they work. They go through or not with the fab. But how it's set right now is you can just pick people up like willy-nilly, which I think that's how it's going to be up until the actual game starts. So I think at this point what I'm going to do is just going to tell people I'm not going to reverse anything. I'm just going to leave everything how it is and then give everyone a time and say, go at it. And then once the week one actually happens, we'll see what happens. Honestly, Sleeper is is not working with me here. Well, I just don't have as many customization options as I thought I might have. So that's kind of where the issue is coming here. But I think after week 1, everything should be fine.
In case this podcast airs before we start being able to pick up players, when do you think we should expect to be able to pick up players? Like, when do you think you're going to okay us to start, snagging people off the waiver wire?
Well, later tonight of this recording this
Okay.
podcast, so it'll have been a day or two until before this goes up. But I will. I mean, I'm right after when I have everything, all the settings perfectly right. I'm gonna give everyone about an hour notice and say, hey, waivers are open in an hour. Go bananas. I think that's the right thing to do.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on. Continuing on with current events, updates, logistics. Here we go. Keeper deadline. Yeah, we needed to figure out at what point we have a cutoff date for when for a players need to be on your team for them to be eligible for being a keeper next year. Cam, you had thoughts on it?
My idea was just we need to have the person that we want to keep on our team before the Week 8 games finish.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that just kind of makes sense because it's halfway through the regular season, and by this point, you won't know if you've won or lost your Week 8 game yet. So you'll still be, pretty early in your season, and you won't know whether or not you're gonna suck for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
And it won't encourage anyone to tank too early in the season.
Yeah. And because I think it's perfectly acceptable. Dylan, you have thoughts on that?
Yeah, just off the top of my head, maybe like week 9, but week 8 would work fine with me too. Also, I don't know, maybe there could be like a clause where it's like, because let's say like someone gets hurt like week 9 or something, you pick up their backup, and it looks like they're gonna be a starter next year. If you like play someone like more than half of the last 8 weeks or something picked up, maybe that also might just be too complicated. There's something that just came to my mind. Because I don't know, just like the year that David Johnson exploded.
Yeah.
He probably wouldn't have even been picked up in some leagues.
I would say maybe on that line, if they're on your team after Week 8, we could have something where you have to start them for 5 games
Yeah.
or something of
like
that sort. However, my problem with that is maybe people would start them with the intention of losing just to be able to get the keeper on their team.
That's a very real concern. It was just an idea, but I'll
Yeah.
go with whatever the league decides.
Yeah. Things to always things to discuss.
1 second, Frankie.
Yeah.
About that, do you think that would be more of a commissioners will decide and just let us know? Or is that something you'd want to vote on in the near future? Maybe like the commissioners come up with the keeper deadline rules that they think
Yeah.
are fair, and then we have to ratify it
I
with a
think
two-thirds
yeah,
majority?
that's kind of what I was thinking. I'm not so sure about Dylan's clause in terms of like keeper versus commissioner versus league rule, but I think we'll come to a conclusion on like the week and then bring that forth, and then if it fails, we'll try a different week and we'll figure it out. Moving on, we have the league buy-in increase controversy. Dylan, no one wants to put more money in, according to you and only you. Did you know that? Just kidding. We have a $10 buy-in the last 3 years ish. I think several people, including myself, are looking to increase it. Cam had an interesting idea on how to go about this.
So my idea, which I thought would be the most fair, would be we set up a poll on Sleeper, and we have options of what you want the buy-in to be, either $10, $15, $20, or $25. And then everyone can vote on one option that they think the buy-in should be. And then we average out all of the votes and then round to the nearest $5, and that's what we make the buy-in be. So if the average of the votes is $18.50, then the buy-in will be $20 for everybody.
Alrighty, well that's it for our current events, I think. Hopefully that segment gets shorter in the future. Moving on, we had the draft last night. Draft, so exciting.
Oh boy.
We spent so much time worrying and stressing, and
Well, some of us.
Some of us stressed. Some of us were just hanging out. But we're gonna do a review of everyone's draft. I think we're gonna do it by draft order, which means Cam is up first.
Well, to start, I think it's very obvious that he's loaded at running back.
Yes.
He will never, barring injuries, never have to worry about the position all season, most likely. Of course, I'm talking about how he has 80. Vikings legend,
Yeah.
not the best parent.
Soon to be Redskins legend after he breaks the rushing
Yeah.
record this season.
Good luck with that.
I think Tyreek Hill's a really good pick. I think he's a very high upside player. Shepard, I think, could be good. Who's your wide receiver too?
Chris Hogan.
Chris
Traded for
Hogan?
him with Evan.
I think that I wasn't probably as high to take him there, but I think he's definitely a super high upside player because he's in the Patriots offense. Their division is terrible, especially the Bills. He gets to play them twice.
Yeah, I think that's like honestly in contention for like the move over the drafts, like Chris Hogan trade, like to get Chris Hogan. I think like,
I was gonna say I also really liked his trade to get Trey Burton
yeah,
because I remember I was thinking of taking him at my previous draft spot when I drafted Chris Carson, the GOAT. And then I was like, and my rationale was I was like, oh, I want Trey Burton because it's like I won't have to worry about tight end. But I'm like, oh, I trust my streaming skills enough to get 5.5 points a week.
yeah.
We'll figure it out. My tight end, I think, will get like 8 touchdowns this year, which will be enough to be a tight end one.
Do you think George Kill's gonna get? Okay, we'll get to it.
Anyways, if I had to explain my rationale for both my trades, it seems like you guys are both fairly positive on them. I think having Alvin Kamara in the 11th round definitely allowed me to sacrifice some of my mid-round picks because I don't really need the depth with getting Alvin Kamara that late. So I was able to sort of trade up and solidify my starting roster. Is kind of what I was thinking there.
Yeah.
I'm pretty happy with how it turned out, for sure.
Moving on, Austin Laster up next with Saquon Barkley. Ooh, how shiny and new. The unknown in fantasy, always so alluring. Let's see, we got Saquon by Shady, and then we got the trade for Amari Cooper. Very interesting stuff.
Thanks, Austin.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see, Golden Tate, Jarvis Landry. Blessed him with Jarvis Landry. Beautiful.
He really bought all in on the Cleveland offense with having both
Mhm.
Jarvis Landry and Josh Gordon on his team. I think he has 3 solid running backs between Alex Collins, LaShawn McCoy, and Saquon Barkley. I'm not super high on LaShawn McCoy just because he's getting older and he'll be like their entire offense this year, so I feel like he might be injury prone. But I think the upside is worth where he picked him. I think Amari Cooper might do really well because Jordy Nelson I don't think will be very good this year, and targets have to go somewhere in that offense, and their defense will be pretty bad, so they'll have to throw the ball.
Derek Carr needs to throw the ball to someone.
I really like Lassie's receiving core because he has a lot of upside with Josh Gordon and Amari Cooper, but definitely a lot of safety too with Golden Tate and Jarvis Landry, both reception hogs. So that could turn out really good for him, either being safe or super high upside.
Yeah. I think that Pierre Garçon is a good flyer because it's either him or Goodwin will be the number 1 receiver in that offense. Most likely Goodwin, but Garçon has been able to do very viable fantasy seasons in the past. And also, I just want to say, I like him picking the Lions defense for that Week 1 matchup against the rookie quarterback. That's who I was hoping to get in my last pick. And then I saw him on the 14th, and I was like, oh, fuck.
Honestly, I like the maybe not as big a deal, but I like the Christian Kirk pick. I think he could have some later season upside. Looking at,
he's listed as the number 2 wide receiver on the team as of
it's
today.
exciting for some people.
I definitely think Austin, he picked his tight end and his quarterback pretty early in this draft, which, could solidify his starting roster, and it doesn't seem like he sacrificed too much depth for that, so I think that worked out pretty well for him.
I don't know. I don't see much going on for Kyle Rudolph this season, so I don't totally understand the pick, but
I think he had a touchdown preseason. And I know Kirk Cousins passed to Jordan Reed a lot.
yeah, that's because that was Jordan Reed.
I think Rudolph may have been overdrafted from where it was taken, but I think that may have just been maybe Lassie was hoping to get Burton at that pick, and then it was like, oh, I'll take the next best tight end.
Yeah.
May have been what happened. But I don't know. I think I'd rather have Kyle Rudolph starting on my tight end slot than most of the tight ends ever drafted, but maybe he was taken around too early. But at the end, he got his guy. So.
And it's definitely looking like a solid roster all the way around.
Yeah. Oh boy, my division. Moving on.
Speaking of your division,
It's me. Look at me. I did so good. Compliment me.
all right, so looking at Frankie's draft, we got Le'Veon Bell up top, which he's locked and loaded stud if he's on the field. But
boy.
there's been a lot of questions about that recently, and It's a little worrisome, but I think he should be just fine. Otherwise, in his running backs, Kenyon Drake, he's got a lot of upside and he's pretty safe. So I like that as a running back too.
Yeah.
I was telling Cam earlier today that I went into the draft promising myself that I would not pick Kenyon Drake. And then I looked at the draft board, I looked at him, he looked at me. I felt something, and I had to take him, you know what I mean? I saw the RB1 upside, and I said, the third round? All right, that'd be looking good to me.
That was actually the player I traded up to get when I made the trade with Lassie, because I wanted Kenyon Drake.
Huh.
But I just never expected Diggs to be available at that slot, which we're going to talk about my draft when we get there.
Yeah.
But I remember I was like, damn. And I was like, oh, of course Frankie got him. The pick right after I traded up to get him.
Otherwise, though, I'm not a big fan of this running backs behind the top two because they're all in committees. And, that kind of worries me on bye weeks that I'll just have to kind of hope that they choose to use those committee running backs more. I'm not sure how I feel
I think
about
the Tariq Cohen pick is very high upside because Mark Helfrich is the new offensive coordinator for the Bears. Obviously it'll be a more pro style spread offense they'll run than what he ran at Oregon. But I know Anthony Thomas had a ton of success at the Oregon or back when he played for the Ducks, and Tariq Cohen will probably be that slot receiver running back role, and also a good change of pace back. And considering who else was available at that pick, I mean, there's some people behind him I'd rather have than Tariq Cohen, but I think he's a perfectly fine dart throw at that point.
Yeah.
I was somewhat considering Mark Ingram at that point, but I don't know.
I wouldn't have taken Ingram until probably the 7th because he's suspended 4 games. They have a bye week 6, and then he has the Baltimore defense, the Vikings defense, and some other, and the Jags defense.
Yeah.
So he'll have 1 week where you're oh, I'm confident to start him the first 10 weeks.
It also doesn't even matter because Alvin Kamara is going to take all the backfield touches anyway, so who cares?
Or Mike Gillislee.
I might have been bearing the lead on my Tevin Coleman pick. Oh my God, Cam broke my heart by taking Rex Burkhead 2 picks before me. Absolutely ripped my heart out and just and spit on it and stomped on it, and I'm not recovered. I think Cam and I were talking about this at work. And both of our every mock draft we had, we were both taking Rex Burkhead every single time. But other than that, yeah, I don't know. I feel like I actually really do quite like my receiving core quite a bit. My only pick, I'm still not sure if I should have taken Kelvin Benjamin over Pierre Garçon.
I feel with your team, you have a lot of solid wide receivers by the time you got to the Kelvin Benjamin pick. So I probably would have picked someone with a little more upside than him because I'm not sure how good the Bills' offense is actually going to be this year.
Dude, Josh Allen can throw the ball 100 yards in the air.
But Kelvin Benjamin can't even run under it. He's too slow and fat.
And then I picked the future tight end one, Ricky Seals-Jones, my tight end because he's going to be great. And Sam Bradford, second most accurate quarterback of all time. I neglected to get a defense or a kicker, which I guess Cam, you picked up a defense, but I need to get on that soon. So some cuts will be made, unfortunately. But I like all these guys. Besides C.J. Anderson, I can get rid of him. I don't care. C.J. Anderson. Alrighty, moving on.
Yep.
Yeah.
Jacob Logan. All right. Wow, I didn't realize how many receivers he took in a row. Oh my God, he took 6 receivers in a row.
Yes.
Yeah, he did.
Wow. Starting off
What's
with
the upside play?
Starting off with Zeke, and then Devontae Freeman. Yeah, Devontae Freeman. I like the Devontae Freeman pick. Mike Evans, Corey Davis, Marquise Cooper Kupp.
I probably wasn't as high on Freeman as other people just because I think Steve Sarkisian is an atrocious offensive coordinator. I didn't want to buy into the offense at all. But considering where he fell, and he'll be his running back too, I think it's a great pick.
Devontae Freeman is definitely the best running back available if that's where he wanted to go there. I also can't believe Mike Evans fell to the 3rd round. I didn't even see that.
Yeah, I was never going to touch him.
Yeah, I wasn't going to touch Evans either. I know that his market share last year was lower, than in previous years, and they just like spent draft capital on another wide receiver,
Mhm.
and they're going to be playing Fitzpatrick.
For 4 weeks.
So
Yeah.
But I mean, Mike Evans is at least going to get a lot of targets, I think, and then he's got a lot of upside behind him with Corey Davis, Marquise Goodwin, Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods. I guess he just drafted 2 Rams wide receivers. Noticing, but
I love the Cooper Kupp pick because he led them in targets last year, and by all camp accounts, him and Goff are making great like chemistry. Robert Woods, I'm not sure because he'll be the third wide receiver in that offense, but I don't know. And then Calvin Ridley could be good, but like I said, I didn't want to touch the Atlanta defense or the Atlanta offense.
Yeah, I agree with everything. I don't know. I don't like the Marquise Goodwin pick particularly. I don't think he's gonna.
Oh really?
I mean, not particularly.
I would have loved if he had. If he had fallen to my 5th round pick, I was going to take him in a heartbeat.
he's definitely a polarizing player, but it could work out big for him.
Yeah, and I don't touch player from Alabama, Calvin Ridley. Ugh.
And then, his quarterback, Deshaun Watson, he could definitely be solid, carry his team if he's repeating what he did last year.
But he won't. Not even close. I said it last podcast. You're crazy.
One concern I have with Jake's team, though, is running back depth. Jordan Wilkins, solid dart throw pick.
Mhm.
Frankie really wanted him 4 rounds later.
I that was a moment of mental exhaustion when I somehow had a euphoric moment thinking that Jordan Wilkins fell to me in like the 14th round or something. I'm just like, where did he go?
That's also his running back 3.
Yeah. And then
And Ronald Jones is running back 4.
who is the 3rd running back on the Tampa Bay offense right now. Not looking great.
Yeah.
Um,
Hey, he was able to average like 0.8 yards a carry in the preseason.
That's progress. He's moving the ball.
I'm starting to see
It
a
only
trend
takes
with
10 of those
It only
to
takes 10 of them.
almost
To
get a
almost get a
first
first
down.
Oh no. Okay, I think we should move on to Greg. Good old Greg.
Oh boy.
I don't think obviously I don't think taking a quarterback early is smart, but I don't think him keeping Rodgers in the 3rd is terrible considering his ADP was like late 3rd round, if I remember correctly. So it's like, okay, I get it. What I was confused why is why he took the 5th position if he was keeping
Leonard Fournette and
Leonard
Aaron
Fournette and
Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers in the 1st and 3rd.
Yes.
I think he'd want an early 2nd round pick. As for his draft, I think the AJ Green pick is good. I'm a little bullish on Demaryius Thomas. Rashad Penny is a really good dart throw. Randall Cobb, I think, is a good pick. Baltimore is a great week 1 matchup. Might be the best defense week 1.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't take his 2nd quarterback till very late, so that's
Good for Greg.
yeah.
Let's be honest. You got to worry about Aaron
Wasn't the
Rodgers getting
worst
injured.
quarterback drafting in this draft.
Yeah.
I think his team will be fine.
I think Greg's
It's a
definitely
starting
got some. He's got solid starters, but I'm not sure about his depth. So he's got to work that fab waiver wire, and we got to see if Greg's willing to do that.
Yeah. Actually, the most confusing thing about Greg's draft is that he drafted 2 tight ends.
I was waiting for it. Yeah,
in like
that's
the mid rounds, which I think Jordan Reed is a good pick. He was actually who I was targeting in like the 8th and 9th. But when you already had Greg Olsen, it's a little confusing because it makes it so if you play both those players in your flex, you have to play 2 tight ends. You usually don't score as well as wide receivers or running backs. But I think he has enough options. Cam Meredith is a good dart throw. Devontae Booker is like a good handcuff.
He's no D'Angelo Henderson.
That's true, but he got cut. He's on the Jets now.
Okay.
I think that Greg will be able to put out a good starting lineup, and I hope that this year he does not have by far the most points scored against him and gets screwed despite having like a top 6 off team in the league.
I will say that if he didn't take Marshawn there and he fell to me, I would have taken Marshawn in a heartbeat too. I was looking for Marshawn.
I was really proud of Greg for that pick.
Yeah, it was one of those moments where I kind of nod your head and be like, yeah, good pick. I'm disappointed, but for my own team, but definitely a good pick.
Okay. Is it time for Levi's brother?
Reigning champion, Levi's brother.
Jordan Simonow. Yeah.
Wait, guys, we have to be nice to Levi. Remember.
No, you can't. No jokes. Only serious. He got DeAndre Hopkins anyways, despite that controversy. Just nice. Michael Thomas. That's. I think that's.
It's a good wide receiver.
That's arguably it might be the best.
I'm pretty sure he had both of those people last season, so.
Yeah.
He did. It's either him or isn't it? Oh wait, never mind. Wait, doesn't Tyler have like 2 great wide receivers? Oh, Antonio Brown and Julio Jones.
Yes. I think
Tyler
that's-
has. So Tyler that or Levi is for best wide receiver core.
He's got Travis Kelce in the 4th. You know, it's definitely a shore up that starting, tight end spot.
Mm-hmm.
However, one problem I have is his starting running backs are pretty bad. Especially with Mark Ingram suspended, he's going to have to start Derrick Henry and Chris Thompson. I guess not Burrito.
Yeah,
He picked up.
yeah.
Could be good, but he's relying on a lot of pass catching or committee running backs to just kind of give him some points while his wide receivers carry him.
And he also only took 3 running backs that can even play in the first 4 weeks of the season. Because he took Ingram, and then the only people he took was Derrick Henry, Chris Thompson, Matt Breida, and Duke Johnson. So I guess
Yeah,
4.
Duke Johnson as well.
So I think he's a little thin at running back, but I don't know. I mean, he won the league last year, and that was despite Dalvin Cook's season-ending injury.
He was thin at running back last year and had solid wide receiver core, so I guess we'll see if that carries into the championship again.
Yeah. Moving on, Tyler Walker.
T-Walk.
Well, he's gonna be his wide receiver core is great, as we said with Julio and Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
And he also has Allen Robinson probably to play in the flex. I think Nick Chubb may have been a slight I think he probably was taken about 2 or 3 rounds too early,
Yeah.
considering he's a backup. But if you're playing just based on talent, Nick Chubb's one of the most talented running backs in the league, probably,
Yeah.
or at least based on his college profile.
Sure.
Anyways. It's definitely sketchy, though, because since he traded away Royce Freeman, his starting running backs are Jay Ajayi, and I guess James White is who the other one he'd start. And, Jay Ajayi could definitely be solid with that Philadelphia offensive line, and James White's a dart throw, but I wouldn't want to be starting them, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't notice that he didn't really after the Royce trade. He doesn't really have any running backs that. Well, I mean, besides Ajayi, but even Ajayi wasn't like that playable for fantasy option last year.
Yeah.
We've got to hope that Ajayi definitely breaks out this year.
Yeah. I like the Njoku pick, tight ends. I think Njoku is going to have a big year this year.
That was his second tight end, though.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about that.
Delaney in the 7th. Delaney is a shell of his former. Delaney's. I don't know. Maybe it's too rough to say he's a shell of his former self, but he's definitely on the decline, in his career-wise. But I mean, he's a legend. So what are you gonna do?
I would definitely like Tyler Walker's draft so much more if instead of picking Delaney Walker, he picked Alfred Morris. Then I would say this is a solid roster.
Yeah. Although I'm not sure how many people are even looking for Alfred Morris because his ADP was still super low.
That's true.
Because spoiler, I was one that drafted Alfred Morris. I remember I had to like search for him. I couldn't scroll. It was hard to scroll down and find him in running back. So I just searched for Morris, and he was like 177 or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, I should take him before like somebody else remembers that Alfred Morris exists.
Yeah. Alrighty.
On to our other co-commissioner, Justin Moss. What do you think, Dylan?
Well, so when I picked my draft position, I picked it because I thought Christian McCaffrey was going to follow me based on the current ADP for sleeper. And I'm like, oh, Justin will just pick whoever's at the top of his board. So I was excited about that. And then Christian McCaffrey's ADP went up. And I was like, fuck, this means Justin's going to get Christian McCaffrey, which is what happened. I think I'm all in on McCaffrey, though I have him in no leagues because he went 1 pick before all my picks. I think Mixon will be really solid. I miss you. I think T.Y. Hilton's a really solid pick considering Luck's back.
Yeah.
Wilson will be a good quarterback. Jimmy Graham may have been drafted a little early.
Definitely got a lot of upside, though, in Green Bay's
Yeah.
offense, but I don't know how likely it is he'll reach that.
He drafted 2 defenses in a row. Oh, actually, never mind. That was a trade.
That wasn't true.
So he drafted 1 defense. That's good. He got his boy Justin Tucker.
Oh, I totally forgot about Odell Beckham Jr. Dang, Justin, nice job, dude. Running back depth is kind of sketchy because, his third running back is Peyton Barber, but after that, he's really got no one besides Davis Murray, who is just a dart throw for a touchdown each and every week.
The goal line. And I think Christian McCaffrey's going to bust this year. So good luck, Justin.
Yeah, I'll see you week 2.
Moving
Speaking
on.
of that, we got Dylan next.
Dalvin Cook, Keenan Allen, Stephon Diggs. We like some Minnesota Vikings, don't we here?
It was the last offense I wanted to buy into. But I already had Thielen, and Cook was, I think, easily the best player available to where I was drafting.
Who is?
Cook.
I mean,
It was between Cook, Julio,
and
Jordan
Julio.
Howard, and Keenan Allen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, looking in retrospect, I would have liked my draft a lot more if I had taken Kenyon Drake instead of Diggs, and then just took Amari Cooper instead of not Amari Cooper, taken Jarvis Landry instead of Jamal Williams. I think that would have made my team better. But I was just like so shocked that he was even at my draft position because he was taken in the second round every mock draft I did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Diggs will have a great year. I think Thielen will have a great year. Dalvin Cook will have a great year. So they're all going to disappoint.
Classic Vikings fashion.
Vikings. Yeah. And then my strategy was like try to get talent early and people I could like play, and then just go straight for like dart throws.
I noticed that with a lot with like your second half of your draft, especially we don't have to talk about round 10, but Patrick Mahomes, my boy, this guy's gonna glow up or is he gonna bust? He has a strong arm. The connections to Tyreek have been real in the preseason.
One of the reasons I was like I want Patrick Mahomes is because he was like being drafted late, and then I was looking at like a lot of his weapons are like super early round picks, and it's like so people are buying into the Kansas City offense. Andy Reid always has a really efficient quarterback play, and then this guy's way more physically talented than like Alex Smith was.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, as like a late round pick, I think that he has top 5 quarterback upside.
Yeah, I mean, I think.
Week 1 might be a little tough, but week 2.
Yeah, I mean, you know, as you tell, I buy into that Kansas City offense. I more buy into how bad the Kansas City defense is and how many points they're going to need to score with my pick of Sammy Watkins in the 7th round. And then, so we have Tyreek Hill and I do have Travis Kelce. We have all these higher round draft picks. But I mean, you said it right. If you have all these receivers that are high draft picks, the quarterback's throwing a ball to them.
What I like about your draft, Dylan, is that you got a nice, solid wide receiver core, and you got a lot of like good running backs. I just don't know if there's enough star power up top to get those super boom weeks and put you over the top.
Yeah, I basically had to put most of my eggs in the Jamal Williams basket because Aaron Jones is suspended the first 2 weeks. Green Bay always has a super high-powered offense, and they have to get to the goal line. And someone has to take those carries, and Aaron Jones can't take them the first 2 weeks.
Yeah, but Greg's telling you it's Jimmy Graham scoring all those touchdowns.
I think that Jamal Williams, if there was a player like Jamal Williams, I was like, hey, he's a bona fide starting running back for Green Bay in this offense. He would have been like a 3rd round pick.
I agree.
So that's why I was like in the 4th round, people behind him I don't want. I'm just gonna go for it as an RB2, and then hopefully one of my later round picks can also pan out.
Yeah.
Because even worst comes to worst, I don't know. I feel like Alfred Morris can do something. I don't know.
All right, on to Devin.
Alrighty. Todd Gurley, Jordan Howard, Kerryon Johnson. Boy.
One thing I'd like to say, just right off the top, Devin's team logo of the Eagles mascot, definitely staying true here. My man's got some Eagles on his team.
Mm-hmm.
We have 4 in a row. At one point, Alshon, Wentz, Aguilar, and Ertz. Wow.
I think he probably reached for Wentz.
Yes.
I wasn't even looking to potentially draft him until the 10th.
Yeah.
And I think the people in this league that would be more prone to jump a quarterback early wouldn't even see him on the quarterback ADP sheet.
I agree, especially consider how far Cam Newton fell. Yeah.
But that's his man. I think Marcus Mariota is a fill-in, so he comes back as a good fill-in. Kenny Galladay, Babytron, I think he's good. Mike Williams, I think solid upside in that Chargers offense. And I think his running back core between Gurley and Howard is not the best in the league because Cam exists, but I think it's right up there. And Jordan Howard was who I was hoping would fall to me in my 2nd round pick.
He's also got Kerryon Johnson on his team with that trade for me, who could definitely pan out if he wins the job later in the season.
Mm-hmm.
But one problem I have is, especially early in the season, his wide receivers are going to be sketchy.
Yep.
Because, Alshon Jeffrey's going to be out for however long he is. Carson Wentz is going to be injured, so we don't know how good that Eagles passing attack is going to be. And then Alshon and Nelson Aguilar aren't startable in the first couple weeks, I'll have to start Brandon Cooks and Mike Williams, I guess, which is definitely not a position I'd want to be in. I guess in his flex, he'll either have to start Kerryon Johnson or Marlon Mack early in the season. It's not somewhere I'd want to be for sure.
Yeah.
I like his kicker pick though. Robbie Gould, solid.
I was definitely getting into mocks.
We don't talk about kickers here. Moving on.
Come on.
Speaking of kickers, we're at JP's
Jacob
team,
Pons.
who drafted the first kicker in the league. Actually, it was second. Never mind. My bad. Sorry, Jake. You're doing good.
I still can't believe that Devin refused to continue the kicker run.
You can't believe that.
Hey, he drafted a defense. What else do you want?
Yeah.
JP decided to go all in the Patriots offense, like
every year.
every year. I'm really confused why he drafted Jimmy G.
Former Patriot.
I mean, I get that rationale.
Heir to the throne.
I just he spent 9th round capital to fill in for Tom Brady's bye week.
They have the same bye week.
Really?
Week 11.
Well, it's a good thing you picked up a third quarterback in Jared Goff then, off waivers.
One problem definitely have with this team right now, though, is he has 3 running backs, and the third one is Giovanni Bernard.
Well, Cam, you only need to start 2 of them, so what's the issue?
Yeah, he definitely should have learned his lesson having David Johnson go down super early last season, but I guess, Jake,
And
not quite.
Julian Edelman is hurt or suspended.
Suspended.
So he's going to start Emmanuel Sanders, Jordy Nelson at wide receiver.
And then Lamar Miller, so many mixed feelings. Julian Edmond, he'll be great when he comes back, but we need to play players now. Manuel Sanders, I don't see him doing much of anything this season, honestly. Jordy Nelson, same. Tyler Lockett, that could be. I think Tyler Lockett was actually a great pick on him. Mm-hmm. Giovanni Bernard is an absolute non-factor, and I do not see him being involved at all, honestly. But you never know.
They don't have Hill anymore, so he's the backup.
Yeah, I guess so. Let's see. And then,
honestly, I think his pick of the Jags D might be one of his better picks.
In the 8th round.
Just because he'll solidify what will be probably the top 3 defense by end of season. And if you're not going to stream.
I don't like him in the week 1 matchup though, against the Giants.
Yeah.
I think the Giants could do something special this first week. Well, we'll see.
But yeah, I'm still not excited to play against a team that is David Johnson and Gronk and the Jags D.
There's definitely a lot of upside in Jake's team to score a lot of points week to week, but I don't think it's going to be very consistent. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Last up, Logan Roth.
The man, the myth, the legend.
Something like that. More like the week 1 loser.
Okay, so looking at his draft, what do you guys think?
I'm just looking at his...
Well, he has Royce Freeman and Doug Baldwin now.
Yeah.
He traded for Leo. I think that's a really good trade for him. He's easy with Devontae Adams. I think Carlos Hyde, Sonny Michel, or Deion Lewis will be a good RB2, one of those players.
Yeah.
I think he overdrafted Kirk Cousins because he thought he'd make me mad, which it didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think DJ Moore is a solid dart throw. Tymont, he's a running back in that offense.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, might as well. John Ross, Samaje Perine, fine. Evan Ingram could be a solid tight end. Tight end is a terrible position, so if it's a player that will get targets.
Yeah, I think Evan Ingram has a bright future in our league. I'm just still bullish on Eli Manning in general.
There's a lot of targets in that offense. We'll see how that goes. But honestly, I haven't really looked at Logan's draft before now. But I am surprisingly very positive about it. Like, especially after that trade. You know, if Doug Baldwin ends up being the wide receiver one that we know he can be, there's not a lot of weaknesses besides, you know, no star power at running back, but he's got a lot of depth of decent players.
The one mock draft he did before the draft really helped solidify his draft.
Yeah. And Greg Zuer, how do you say that?
Zerline.
Just kidding, we don't talk about kickers here. And that was our...
Dude, like if someone was like an
No.
RB2
Alrighty, that was our draft recap. Oh my goodness. Now the draft is over, the fun can begin, huh?
The long wait.
The long awaited.
Thursday.
We have to go over week 1 matchups. Now, already, I updated all of the league's matchups. What you saw before is gone. What we see now is what it will be. All of the weeks are set, besides for week 13, because it's going to be a doubleheader. And I can't do it on, we'll have to do it manually, I think. I can't do it on Sleeper. I haven't added that feature yet. But no problem. I can just do it manually. But so we just quickly go over the matchups. So we have me versus Logan, Dylan versus Levi, Greg versus Justin, Austin Laster versus Jacob Pond, Jake Logan versus Devin, Cam versus Tyler Walker. All divisional matchups for the first 3 weeks of the season.
All right, looking through there, obviously the big headline game is Frankie versus Logan. You know, Logan called him out earlier in the offseason and, you know, told Frankie, you got to put your money where your mouth is.
Mm-hmm.
And looking at it, you know, right now, Logan is favored with an 85% chance to win. However, Frankie does not have a kicker or defense as of yet. But if Le'Veon Bell does not perform like Le'Veon Bell should perform if he was actually playing solidly, I think Logan has a solid chance to take Frankie down.
Yeah. Second year in a row.
Second year in a row that Le'Veon Bell will screw me. Yeah, honestly, I pretty much like every position I have at least equally or over him, besides for defense and kicker, obviously.
Maybe tight end?
Well, I'm gonna say tight end. I'm a little, and then quarterback. I don't know, but I like all of my running backs and receivers better than his, at equal or better. Besides for, and this Le'Veon just such a question mark. If Le'Veon performs even decently well, I think I edge this one out. But I still need to make some cuts. I need to add some defenses and some kicker.
My one hope for this game, Logan's last player of the week, Greg Zerline, plays the Monday night football game.
Oh no, he should.
If Frankie loses to Logan off of a kicker he so despises, there would be nothing more
I have nothing
poetic.
against Greg Zerline. Just the fact that kickers exist in general in fantasy.
Didn't you lose to Logan last year, week 1, off of Monday Night Football?
Yes, it was when the Chargers were playing the Broncos, and he had
Hunter Henry.
who scored a fat 0 points. It was very intense.
Not a single reception. I think he dropped like 3. No, he didn't even. I don't even know if he didn't even got a target that game.
That was very
I
possible.
don't think he got a target. I remember it now because there were 2 times I got screwed by a tight end scoring 0 points in the first 3 weeks, I think it was. And that time, I literally, he did. I think that I don't think Hunter Henry got any offensive snaps. He got a couple. And every single time he was just run blocking. It was the most frustrating moment. It was one of the most frustrating moments of my life, other than the time I was
Jacoby Brissett.
Jacoby Brissett. I created
0.1 more points.
Yeah, Jacoby Brissett had done literally anything, I would have won that game. Let's not talk about last season anymore. Moving on, Dylan versus Levi.
Dylan versus Levi.
I think it'll be a good game. I think have better running backs. He obviously better wide receivers. I think flex. I think I have the upper hand in flex. I think he's the upper hand in tight end. My mystery kicker will be revealed closer to kickoff. And
Levi still got the Texans defense playing against the Patriots.
New England, yes. And I was able to get one of my other streaming picks I wanted, the Saints, playing against Fitzmagic at home. So I'm excited
Okay,
about
can we
that.
talk about, if you're going to keep James Conner from me, you better call your shot and play him in your flex.
No, I'm not.
If he's scoring more points than Le'Veon Bell, you better put him in your flex.
He's gonna score more than 0.
You think Le'Veon Bell's going to throw 0
not
points?
playing.
He is going to play. He played last year. Why wouldn't he
He
play?
hasn't reported 2 Tuesday.
It doesn't matter.
He needs to learn. He needs to learn the playbook.
But
Ricky.
Dylan, he's so patient. Do you forget how patient he is? He doesn't,
He's waiting
He's
till the game
waiting.
starts.
He doesn't need
And then he'll
to.
make his move.
If I have cell service and James Conner's not playing, and James Conner's going to get the start, Le'Veon's not playing, he will go over Jamal Williams.
By the way, if anyone wants to trade me for Le'Veon Bell, offers are open.
I got James Conner.
Moving on. Greg versus Justin.
Alright, looking at this, Greg definitely got some solid starters for this week, especially up top in his quarterback and running backs with Aaron Rodgers versus Chicago. He's got a solid defense, but it's Aaron Rodgers. And then Leonard Fournette's going to be all of Jacksonville's offense, and Marshawn Lynch against the Rams, so that's kind of sketchy.
Yeah, it's rough.
I think AJ Green should do well against Indianapolis.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think so.
Wait, so Greg is currently favored in this game, huh? Projections have Greg at 114 points and Justin at 103 points. But looking at Justin's wide receivers with Odell Beckham even against Jacksonville and T.Y. Hilton against Cincinnati, I think I gotta call my shot here.
This is what I think it is.
This is what you think it is.
Oh my God.
This is Cam's upset of the week.
I'm upset. I'm upset. Louder! I'm upset. Louder! I'm upset! Say it louder! I'm upset!
Upset of the week. So you are calling for a Justin Moss victory.
I think Justin, he's got Jimmy Graham in his tight end spot. So even Aaron Rodgers, all his touchdown throws to Jimmy Graham aren't going to matter to Greg. Justin's got this one.
Sounds good to me. Moving on.
No offense, Dylan.
Austin Lasser versus Jacob Pond. Jacob Pond favored 55 to 45%. Oh my God, what a barn burner. David Johnson. I'm excited. I'm just excited to see David Johnson on the field. That's probably my the thing I'm most excited about the first week one is just to see David Johnson on the field, see what he can do.
I think this is the matchup of the two most exciting running backs with
Yeah.
Saquon Barkley versus David Johnson. So
Absolutely.
we're both just can't wait to see.
Yeah,
Lassie's definitely got the edge in wide receiver. though.
absolutely.
Oh my
It's
God.
not even close.
But Gronk Smash, as JP so affectionately nicknamed him, could be the part that throws JP over in this game. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I feel like if I'm Lassie, I'm looking for Rudolph the Red Zone Reindeer and to get me a touchdown or two and try to propel me just over the edge here and take out JP.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a tight game, though. I'm excited.
All right, we are two left. Jacob Logan versus Devin. Devin favored to win just slightly by a few percent. Let's see.
Oh, so one thing that Devin definitely had to do here was draft a second quarterback because he had Carson Wentz as his first quarterback pick, which obviously is going to be injured.
Yes.
So we had to pick Marcus Mariota, and we have a person I'd like to get some opinion on that from. Ivy, what do you think of Marcus Mariota?
Who?
Marcus Mariota.
Who?
I guess she just doesn't know who he is. Well, I guess that is possible. Some people wouldn't think so.
Yeah. Let's see. What else we got going on here?
There's definitely a lot of solid running backs in this game with
Yeah.
Zeke versus Todd Gurley and Devonta Freeman versus Jordan Howard. There's going to be a lot of points put up there.
I honestly think Jake will win this.
Yeah, I feel like, is Devin going to start? I don't think Devin's going to start carrying on this.
Yeah, I don't. At least I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I mean, who would you start over for Devin? Kenny Galladay?
I'd rather start Galladay.
I'd say
Mike
Mike
Williams.
Williams
Yeah.
against the Kansas City defense.
That's fair. Okay.
Oh yeah, I didn't see Williams.
Yeah, but
I'd probably
Devin's-
still play Galladay for the memes.
Devin's definitely going to have to try and scrape by some wins in these early weeks until the Eagles get up to full strength, and we'll see how that goes for him.
Matchup of the week. Cameron Van Sant versus Tyler Walker. The old guard versus the new guard. Tyler looking to make a splash in the league.
When you when you finally get up to prison, you gotta walk up to the biggest guy in the yard, try and punch him right in the face. But 9 times out of 10, that biggest guy is just gonna punch him right back, knock Tyler Walker out. You know what I'm saying?
Jeez, I do not want to play against Cameron Van Sant.
It's upsetting seeing how much you're favored for and you don't have a kicker.
That's my team right there.
you should call your shot and not play kicker. In fact, we should all not play kickers this year as a show of solidarity. All in favor?
Nobody.
Alrighty, well, I tried. Yeah, Chris Hogan, the wide receiver, 1 against Houston. And Tyreek Hill against the Chargers. That'll be a fun game. That'll be a fun game. Kansas City versus Chargers.
Yeah. Definitely kind of worried about Tyreek Hill against that Chargers secondary, but hoping he just burns him deep at least once. And definitely a fan of me having Ben Roethlisberger with him having Antonio Brown. So I can't be worried about Antonio Brown putting up 30 points because Ben Roethlisberger will definitely put up a lot of points if that happens.
Yeah, that's true. Any touchdown Antonio Brown gets, you get a -2 instead of a -6.
Yeah. So I'm not too worried about you, Tyler. No offense. But it'll be a fun game.
All right, our first mailbag question ever comes from a Mr. Jake.Logan, 66. Jake.Logan writes in and says, why does Cam think he is good at fantasy?
I guess this question is directed at me. And
Perhaps.
my response would be, I feel like Cam's history in this league, never not made it into playoffs. I've made it to the championship game, I believe, 3 times in the last 5 years. But, fantasy's 80% luck, depending on who you ask. Some people say it's 90 or 100%. But that 20% of skill always puts me in the championship, contention. So, Jake, what have you ever done for the league?
The next question comes in from a Moss Juice at OregonState.edu.
School email. Solid, Justin.
Odds Justin gets impeached and forced to resign.
Ooh, are we making Vegas odds here?
We're making Vegas odds. Let's see. You think it's unlikely that he'll be impeached, even though you believe.
No, because you need 2/3 majority, and there's no way we can get 8 people. I counted there's at least 5 people that under no circumstances would vote to get rid of Justin.
What would you put the line at, you think, then?
I'd say it'd be you would have to bet $750 to win 100.
So 75 to 1 odds. What are you saying?
No, it'd be the opposite of that.
1 to 75 odds. Okay.
Because there's no way that we'll be able to get 8 people.
Well, if you think of people that you probably think wouldn't vote him out, JP, right?
JP, Greg,
Logan.
Justin, Logan,
I
Jake
think
Logan.
Justin would vote himself to state commissioner. That's a wild card.
Jake Logan straight up just told me about how he convinced Justin.
Yeah, we've heard the story. Anyways, Jake Logan. Well, I think what
I don't think, because Tyler, if you're listening to this, what's up? I doubt you are.
No, he listens to the podcast.
Does he?
He wants to be a guest on it. Tyler, you're
What's up,
awesome.
Tyler?
Thanks for joining the league.
That was my second favorite person in this entire league, behind myself.
Talk about my ego? God. Anyways, I think what you're not taking into account, Dylan, is Justin's anti-meme team and how much the meme dream would live if Logan, JP, Greg all turned on him, and took him out. I think that'd be pretty good.
Last question of the mailbag for the day comes from a Logan Roth 717. Once again addressed to Cameron. I think we both agree Kamara was lights out last season. But is there a part of you that is worried that he was just a one-season wonder and will regress significantly a la Jay Ajayi? If you think he will stay lights out or close to it and not go down the path Ajayi did, explain why.
While I have been worried all offseason by my keepers, there's definitely a lot of bust potential with them. I don't think Kamara is anywhere near Ajayi, because if you look at Ajayi's breakout season, it was based off about 3 200-yard games, and he had no games over 100 yards whatsoever. Mm-hmm. And he was also on the Miami offense, which has never been very good recently. Whereas Kamara is on the Saints offense, which has been a perennial top scoring team, always uses the running backs really creatively in both the running and passing game. Mm-hmm. And Kamara is not just based off of a couple games where he was just insanely good. He had a basically all of the season last season when he was used of just being a very solid running back. So I think, yes, he's probably going to regress a bit. And yes, there is the worry that he won't be used more than last season and he'll still regress, but I don't think that he will turn into a non-viable fantasy option.
And with that, we will end this incredibly long episode of the Anyone But Cam Fantasy Football Podcast. Thank you all so much for listening. If you made it this far, that's awesome, and I appreciate you. I've been Frankie.
I'm Cam.
Thank you to Dylan for coming along with us.
Anytime. I will love to spew my hot takes.
Spewing all right.
Next week, we'll come back at you with another episode recapping week 1. Football is actually happening.
Finally.
So close, and we'll go over we'll go over all the matchups. The winners, the losers. There'll be a power rankings, I'm sure, and we'll look forward to week 2 as well. Might have another guest on.
One last thing before we go.
Hold the horses.
Last week, we made the call to everyone in the league. Division names.
Division names.
Please get them in. Well, I'm happy to say that one division, my own, has come up with a name. I asked my division mates if they were cool putting this out there, and they didn't respond, so I'm just going to do it anyway. But Devin's great idea for our division is the Alphas.
The Alphas.
Yeah.
I will change it right now, live on the podcast. The
So-
Alphas.
So everyone else in your, unnamed divisions, you can use that as a template. Try and do good for your division too.
I workshopped a name earlier today in my division, and one of the names we came up with, which is the league of myself, Austin Laster, Logan, and JP, is the Studs and Stoners.
That's a solid one.
I think that could be as an option. But if you guys have names, ideas, just send them to me. Send them to your league, your division mates, all that. Alrighty.
Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you all. We'll see you next week.